creatine supplement side effects. So the number one thing to keep in mind here is that the type of supplement that you take is gonna play a big role in whether there are side effects that you struggle with. If you're taking a creatine blend that includes like caffeine, a bunch of stimulants, and a bunch of other ingredients, then it's completely different than a creatine that's like just the creatine monohydrate or like the enhanced creatine formula, which is just a couple natural ingredients. And if you're having side effects as a result from taking like a pre-workout, then you have to see whether it's actually the creatine or other elements that are causing you problems. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is the amount of creatine that you're taking, because sometimes 20 grams a day can cause you to have short-term negative consequences. And so people that are taking this loading phase of 20 grams a day can perhaps expect to see things like diarrhea, nausea, and issues like that, where they could have negative side effects and just discomfort in general. If you're taking 5 grams a day, you have less concern about that, but it's still something that you need to keep in mind. So make sure that you are aware of this and that you understand this at all times. It's very important that you do this, otherwise you could find yourself in some negative situations. The long-term effects are going to have a much more profound impact on your decision making. And so you might see that there's studies about kidneys and how creatine can negatively affect the kidneys, but the reality is studies don't show that at all. It seems to be more of a myth that's propagated by just some fear about creatine in general. So take a look at the studies in the NCBI database, or even look at examine.com and see about what creatine really does to your kidneys, and you'll find that it really doesn't have any adverse effects. If you have kidney problems now, then you should probably speak to a doctor before you decide to jump into creatine. But nonetheless, it's a good idea for you to know that it's really a lot of hype, it's a lot of fear, and it's not something that you need to be too worried about. So keep that in mind, and then you can determine whether the creatine side effects are something you want to avoid, or whether there's something that might be overblown and you can actually just utilize the product for your advantage.